Hello, Maya's mum. Being normal. It used to bother me a lot, as I put in the text message to you on there. You can't win. I mean, a lot of people now, you sit in a social situation and they act very AS, especially if they're not sure themselves. Like today, for instance, I had to go to college and we all had to sit in a group waiting for the tutor to come along. And nobody said anything to each other. We were all going, looking around, glancing, looking at the wall, laughing a bit, thinking, I wonder who's going to talk first. Nobody did. And I certainly wasn't going to break the monotony by trying to talk first, because then I'd have, been in the limelight, so to speak. So none of us talked. And we were waiting for 20 minutes. Nobody talking. And that wasn't an AS thing, that was NTs as well. That was everybody just didn't talk, right? And then when the tutor finally came over, he didn't call me Stephen, he called me Stefan. And I thought, is he trying to be funny or what? But in an NT sort of way, that is a way to sort of break the ice. I mean, I've been called worse things in my time. But I did pull on the paperwork that I'm AS, but I haven't really highlighted it because I don't want to be treated differently. And sometimes people talk to you like you're thick. They go, okay, Stephen, have you got that piece of work? And I'm like, I'm not thick. You know what I mean? I understand you. I'm not deaf either when I go, Stephen, what you doing? I'm not deaf either. Do you know what I mean? And these people, they just seem to think AS, they don't know how to interact with it. They don't know how to assimilate themselves to someone with AS. And it's boring, really, because they haven't got a clue. Now, at college, it's difficult. It really is difficult. I mean, there's no two words about it, really. It is difficult. It is a case of having to socialise at college. It's getting better. There are courses that help people with AS now. But when I went to college, it was 16 to 18 year olds, and I was like a guinea pig, really, at 24 joining the class, and it wasn't right. I got beaten up, I got mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse. And the tutors knew it was going on, and they made it very clear, but they didn't want me there either. They said I should have had a job, or should have been in, uni, or should have been in some other course. I managed to complete the course with a Student of the Year certificate and a distinction in my BTEC, and the bloke at the time said to me, he said, oh, the Student of the Year is just what we give to retards and all that. And to be honest, if I didn't need the course, I think I'd have smacked him one in the mouth, because that's all he deserved. But moving on, work is the same. You can't ask people to treat you different because you're AS. You can't keep on showing the autism card and saying, look at this, you've got to treat me differently, the boss has to treat me differently. So I don't really want to be treated normal. Do you know what I mean? Or abnormal. I just want to be treated like a person. A person that has feelings, emotions like everyone else. They can cry, can laugh, can find a joke. I do find jokes funny, I mean, sometimes I find things that aren't funny. Like if there's a disaster or something like that, like say, it's really, really strange things. I mean, I can't explain it, but sometimes, I get laughing at things that other people find bad. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's a nervous reaction. I don't think it's because I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? I really don't. So, I don't know what else to say, really. Basically, I have an acting face when I go for work or whatever. I try and assimilate myself to the NT place that I'm at, if I have to socialise to a certain degree, well, this was the past, I might not do it now because there's more laws and that, I would go to these do's and I would try and mask things by drinking a lot. I used to drink a lot. Then I might say something and the boss would tell me the next day that I said this, that and the other about such and such a colleague and get in trouble. But I used to drink a lot, and then I found my AS traits disappeared. And I was accepted, and it was, oh, Steve, he's alive inside the pie. Come on, Steve, you know, come on, Steve, get him down your neck, mate, yes. And then, once it wore off, I was back to being AS again. So, that's how I did it, really. And so, for me, trying to be normal is a constant battle. And where I live in the Midlands, it's very difficult. It's basically, how can I say this? I don't believe they empathise much with disabilities. I might be wrong, but in my experience, if you're different in the Midlands, you get picked on more than anywhere else. Now, some people might say, I don't know what you're talking about, laddie. You know, and all that business, you know what I mean? From other countries, I'm trying to do a Scottish accent there, probably didn't come out, you know what I mean? You know, and if we went to London, they'd probably say, well, you'd be treated just as bad here. You'd be treated just as bad in Wales. You'd be treated just as bad anywhere else. But in my opinion, the Midlands is the worst, and it seems to be the worst for funding as well. Most of the funding goes to London and whatever. So, I would say that being normal, right, is something that's a constant battle, like I've said. And people still know there's something wrong with you. You can get the eye contact right, you can get the body language right, you can get the expressions right, you can get everything right, and people might still say, there's something off about you. Don't know what it is, I can't put my finger on it. So what's the point? I've told them I'm AS at the college, you know what I mean? If I was in a wheelchair, they'd have the ramp out. If I had other disabilities, if I was like a disfigurement going, they'd feel sorry for me. But because I'm focused, because I'm intelligent, all they can see is, if you don't smile when they smile or whatever, they think that you're not communicating properly or whatever. I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. But that's basically the way it goes. And if you want to show this to any of your professors or, you know, doctors or whatever, please do so, because maybe it will help them to understand. If I go in for counselling, they tend to look at me and think, there's nothing wrong with him, because I internalise everything. Whereas other people probably come out and say, oh, doctor, got so many problems. Oh, bloody hell, you know, such and such, you know, spilt coffee on the floor and at work, and I you know, I had to flipping well wipe it up, you know, and the boss said this to me and the boss said that to me, and I'm not like that. So that's the reason. Anyway, take care. Bye for now.